welcome to AGK's Vinyl Life. I'm your host, Anthony K. And on this week's episode, I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite vinyl box sets. That's right, vinyl box sets. And don't let this big pile of box sets scare you. It's actually not going to take that long because quite a few of the box sets in this pile I'm going to gloss over really fast. They're just here for examples during my discussion. But I am going to deep dive a few of my favorite box sets. Now, for those of you that want to get straight to the box sets, you might want to fast forward maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Because the first thing I'm going to discuss before I get into showing you these box sets is my thoughts on the whole box set idea and what I think of it. The good, the bad, and the ugly of what I think about box sets. So let's get on with it. Let's not waste any more time because we've got a lot to get through here. And let's start. So the first thing I want to talk about is just really quickly my thoughts on box sets. The good, the bad, and the ugly, as I said. The good thing about box sets is they are an opportunity for a fan of an artist or an album to get some sort of exclusive version of that album or expanded version of that album or a collection of that artist's albums in a box with some extra content, all nicely packaged in a box. That's a good thing. One of the bad things is, of course, they are expensive, much more expensive. And the ugly, let's get to the ugly first. Let's get the ugly out of the way. So I think one of the ugly things about box sets is the sheer amount of space they take up in your record collection. Now, I've got quite a few box sets, and I've just pulled out a few to show you today. But my box set section over there is fairly large. And one of the ugly things about box sets is, even though there's only a handful here, look at all the space they're taking on this table. So one of the ugly things, of course, about box sets is they do take up space in your household. So you better have strong shelves because they tend to be heavy, and room for box sets before you start diving into box sets. Because that's one of the ugly things is the sheer amount of space box sets take up. The other ugly thing for me about box sets is a practice in the last couple of years that I've noticed from record labels, record companies, is that there's some definite price gouging going on and taking advantage of fans and collectors of artists in the pricing of some of these box sets. Some of these box sets are ridiculously priced from the get-go. I mean, yes, box sets, one good thing about box sets is most of the time the value of a box set rises greatly. So are they a good investment? Yeah, box sets are definitely a good investment. If you ever want to sell your collection down the line, box sets always tend to go up in value because most box sets are released in a limited amount, and the value of box sets tends to skyrocket pretty quickly. But when you're charging $500 to $1,000 at the get-go for a box set, there's no excuse for that, in my opinion. And the way I look at box sets when I'm shopping for box sets is I look at the contents of the box set before I buy it. Not actually physically look at, but I look at in my brain the value of the contents inside the box set. Because most box sets are going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4 discs in them, maybe 7-inch single, some memorabilia, whatever. So do the math yourself, people. Before you buy a box set, do the math yourself. Does the value of the items inside the box set coincide with what they're asking for the box set? And you'll be surprised that most of the time it doesn't even come close. Your average single disc LP new these days, here in Canada at least, costs anywhere from $30 to $35. Your average double LP, $40, $50. Your average triple LP, $60, $70. So it's pretty easy to work out the value of the actual vinyl, the music inside, because ultimately in the end it's the vinyl that is the most important thing in these box sets. And I've seen multiple times, and there was one box set that came out earlier this year that I really was interested in getting, but the price just didn't gel from the get-go for the contents inside. Inside it contained one studio LP, a double live LP, a 7-inch single, and a bunch of paper products, memorabilia paper products. They wanted like $150 to $160 for this box set. Yet when I added up the value of the vinyl inside, best I could come up with was maybe $80 worth of vinyl, which means the other $70 was a cardboard box and some paper products. Not even a hardcover book, just a soft cover, 20-page book. So I think a couple lithographs and some handwritten lyrics that are photocopies actually. So I could not justify buying that box. So I'm a real stickler for that. I'm not made of money, so I certainly tell people, if you're shopping for box sets, just do the math, people. Those are the ugly things about box sets. One of the other bad things about box sets is box sets that they seem like a good idea at the time, and they make it sound all attractive when you buy them. You get an album, and then you get another couple of discs worth of bonus content, alternate takes or demos or whatever. But then you realize that those alternate takes or demos are really just crap. To put it bluntly, they're just crap. And there's a reason why those things had never been released before. But they take advantage of you because they know you really want this, and they think, oh, maybe some collectors will like this stuff. Me personally, I'm going to show you in a minute an example of that. So let's get on with it. I'll discuss more about what I think of box sets as I'm showing them. And let's get on with it. Now, like the first thing I said just a minute ago was that sometimes they package in these box sets material that just really isn't good. And this is going to be my first one I'm going to show you. This is the Beatles Abbey Road Giles Martin remix box set that came out a couple of years ago, which I decided to go for. Was this worth the money that I paid for it? Definitely not. Abbey Road is one of only two Beatles albums I really like. I'm not a Beatles fan really at all, but I do love Abbey Road, and I actually love Magical Mystery Tour. But Abbey Road is my favorite Beatles album, and pretty much the only one I really love that I wanted in my collection. So I decided to go for this box set because they promoted it as coming with 2 extra discs of outtakes and whatnot. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. Was it worth the money? Definitely not. I'm sorry I bought this box set. I should have only bought the single disc remaster, the Giles Martin remaster on single disc of this LP, because this was not money well spent in my opinion. The value of inside the box didn't add up to the value that I paid for it. Because what you got outside of the Giles Martin remix was a 2-page little pamphlet about the album, and then 2 discs of takes. They weren't even demos or songs that were dropped from the album or alternate versions. They were takes. And when I mean takes, I mean unfinished studio recordings, like the orchestral part of this song, the drums and bass of this song, the piano and this of this song, like 4 sides of this stuff. And I'm telling you, I was ready to kill myself halfway through the second side. I never did finish listening to it all. If I did, I think I was maybe probably, cleaning, vacuuming or something for the rest of it, because it was just absolute trash. It was just like, maybe if you're a big Beatles fan, great. You love that stuff, but I just found the additional material in this box set was not at all worth buying. So that's an example for me of a bad box set. That's a box set I would say stay away from personally, unless you're a mega Beatles fan. Stay away from that box set. Just do yourself a favor. Just get Abbey Road single disc by itself, because the outtakes on there, like I said, I was ready to kill myself halfway through the second disc. Another example of what can be bad box sets are box sets where they basically package together 4 albums or 5 albums or 10 albums or whatever of an artist and charge a ridiculous price for it. And if you took all of those albums out of the box and bought them separately, it would be, probably cost you less than what you asked for the box set. But there are some good box sets out there where they do that, and they are a reasonable value. And this is one that I just held up a second ago. This is the Replacements, the Sire Years. It's basically 4 albums in a slipcase. Now, I don't really call this a box set, so that's another thing I'm going to say, is that some of these box sets I don't really classify as a box set. Yes, I guess it's a box because it's coming in a hard slipcover box thing, but I don't really classify this as a box set because you're not really getting anything other than the original albums. But it's really nice. They're all nicely in here, remaster, reissues. of 4 replacement albums. Really nicely done. But this was really reasonably priced. When I bought this on Amazon, it was really reasonably priced and actually added up to less than if I'd bought these 4 albums separately. So there's an example of, I don't really classify this as a box set, but I guess some people would, of a good packaging of albums. Another one, and this is the same idea, and I've got 2 volumes of this, is Kate Bush's, what did she call these? Kate Bush Remastered in Vinyl. And I believe there were 3 or 4 volumes of this. I only got the first 2 because they're the only 2 that interested me, volumes 1 and 2. But the same idea, all the albums remastered, put in these beautiful, nice hardcover slipcase. Really bright, beautiful presentation of the albums. You know, you've got the Dreaming in here. You know, beautifully done line art. Beautifully done. And this box set is fairly expensive now, but I just happened to luck out on Amazon one day when I bought this, and I've got the second volume as well. I lucked out on Amazon because when I bought this box set, I think it was a price goof. Amazon had this box set listed at like $39.95. That's basically $10 an album. I did notice shortly after I bought this box set that the price skyrocketed on Amazon, and these do go for a pretty penny now. So for me, buying 2 volumes of the Kate Bush remastered series on vinyl was a no-brainer because I think it was an Amazon price goof, so I lucked out. But I don't call these box sets really either, even though some people would, because they are just the packaging of 4 albums. But nonetheless, you know, a nice packaging. So now let's get into a few more of them here, and I'm going to show these 2 next really quickly. So here's 2 box sets I really like, and they're both singles box sets, collections of singles by artists. The first one, I got this one quite a few years ago. This is New Order Singles Collection, and basically in here you've got a booklet and 4 LPs, and it's pretty much everything that New Order ever released on single up to just before their Music Complete album, their last album. But it is a fabulous collection with singles mixes. So this is example of a great box set because you get singles mixes that, you know, you would spend forever trying to find all these 12-inch singles and all these 7-inch singles, all nicely remastered and put on vinyl, all collected together. This is a really fabulous collection if you can buy it. New Order, a singles collection, 4 LPs and a nice little booklet. Good example of a great box set. Another box set similar to that one, and this is, yeah, I do like them. This is Phil Collins and his singles collection as well. And this one actually has skyrocketed in value. When I bought this, like, I don't know, 4 years ago, when I bought this, it was really reasonably priced. The price was, it's a 4 LP set, and I think I paid maybe what would be the equivalent of a maybe 2 LP set. It was really, really cheaply priced, and now this one has skyrocketed in value. And this basically gives you all of Phil Collins' singles, everything from his entire recording career. It is a really good box set. I love Phil Collins. I love his work with Genesis. I love his solo work. So this Phil Collins singles box set, and I'll just quickly open it, it comes with a really nice book. This is an example of a really nicely done box set. It comes with a beautiful booklet. Really nice booklet showing all of the singles, and then of course the albums themselves. A really, really nice, everything you'd want from Phil Collins, really. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful box set, and a really nice box, really nicely textured. Phil Collins, the singles collection box set. If you can find it at a good price, great, because I noticed on Discogs they are worth quite a bit of money now. So there's an example of some collected things. The next box set I'm going to show you here, I guess I'll show you this one next. And I'm not going to show this in great detail because I've devoted an entire video last year to this album. If you want to learn more about this particular box set, just watch that video that I dropped. This is Deep Purple Whoosh from about a year ago. Like I said, just watch my video about this box set where I deep dived this box set. But this is a really great example of a great box set. It came with this shirt that I'm wearing right now. And inside it came with the album, of course, some lithographs, the CD version album, a DVD of them live in concert to watch, and then these 3 colored vinyl 10-inch EPs here, which actually are a full live album. So there's another example of a greatly packaged box set, well worth the money, not overly pricey. It was reasonable to buy, and the contents inside, in my opinion, added up to more than the value that I bought the box set for. Deep Purple Whoosh. Watch my video on this from last year for a deep dive in great detail on this box set. Wonderful box set. Another one of my favorite box sets over the last couple. See, the pile's going down pretty darn fast. Another of my favorite box sets from the last few years is this one right here. This is Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus, The Movement Continues. And this particular box set is really, really good if you're a Bob Marley fan and can find this. I don't know what the value is. I think the value on this is skyrocketed. It's probably out of print too. This came out, I believe, in 2017. Yes, 2017. And the thing that's great about this is Ziggy Marley was involved in the whole remastering process of this album. So what you got in, and this is another fine example of a box set that when I bought it, I mean, now it costs a fortune, but when I bought it, the value of the contents inside this box set far exceeded what they were asking for the box set. And what you got inside this box set was a number of items. So let me get them out here. And once again, this is what I consider a really well put together box set. So you got the original Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus. This is a remaster, reissue of the original Exodus album. The next item you got in there was Bob Marley and the Wailers, The Movement Continues. And this is Ziggy Marley's remaster of the album. And what Ziggy Marley did is he remastered the album and he put the tracks of the album in a different order. So it's a completely different mix than this. And if you listen to the two mixes side by side, you can notice the differences. Ziggy Marley did a really, really wonderful job of remixing this album, because it's not just a remaster, it's an actual remix of the album. He reordered the tracks in a slightly different order, and I really like what Ziggy Marley did with this. So you get that in the album. Then you get this, and this is what I love about this is one of the what I consider good things about box sets, is this right here. This is Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus Live. You cannot get this album anywhere else. This is something that was produced for the box set. A wonderful live recording that was never released before. Exodus Live. And then they even gave you a couple of his 12-inch singles, and this is Bob Marley and the Wailers, Funky Reggae Party, with the flip side of Keep On Moving. So this is a reissue of 12-inch single. Wonderful. You get an absolutely wonderful, wonderful booklet of the complete history of the Exodus album here. Wonderful booklet. Complete history of the Exodus album. And you also get a couple 7-inch singles. And you get a Bob Marley and the Wailers, Waiting in Vain 7-inch single with the B-side called Roots. And then last, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Smile Jamaica, a very, very, very early song of Bob Marley and the Wailers. Smile Jamaica, which was never before released. So that's kind of cool. So you get a couple cool 7-inch singles. They're all on black wax. A couple 7-inch singles, a 12-inch single, a live album, the remix and remaster, and this plain remaster. There's what I would call an example, and this is one of my favorite box sets for sure. Bob Marley, Exodus, The Movement Continues. Highly recommend it if you can find it. Next up, we've only got, we're almost done. This is one that I got. It is another fine example of a modern artist and a modern box set that when I ordered this, I pre-ordered this right from the artist's website. Most artists, when they sell direct from their website, really tend to treat you well and give you a real bang for your buck. And this is a modern artist, a very popular young artist that's big right now in the music industry, and her name is Camila Cabello. And this is her romance album, her second album. And this was a box set sold directly that I pre-ordered through her website. And the value of the and this one has skyrocketed in value. And the value of the contents inside this box far exceeded the actual price of the box. And this is another example of what I think is a really greatly designed box set. Inside, you got a download code for the album in download. You got a CD version of the Romance album. You got a CD version. You got a 7-inch single. 7-inch single of that. You got a random, I believe there are a number of different random 8x10 glossies. So you got an 8x10 glossy that's frameable of Camila Cabello. Very cool. You got a 12-inch picture disc version of the Liar and Shameless single, which is very cool. Saving this for last. Then, of course, you got the album itself, right here, the album itself. Double vinyl album itself, and it was pressed on a gorgeous, and it came with a wonderful booklet as well. A beautiful lyric booklet. Beautiful booklet, and it came on a beautiful red vinyl. Beautiful red vinyl. 2 LP red vinyl. So there's an example of another really great box set. And the last thing that was in this box set was a note from Camila Cabello, autographed personally by Camila Cabello herself. So you got an autograph as well. So there's an example of a really nice, reasonably priced at the time, box set that gave you good bang for the buck. We're down to our last 3 vinyl box sets here. These are my 3 favorite vinyl box sets I own. Hands down, my 3 favorite vinyl box sets. The first is from a few years ago, Rush, and the 2112 remaster box set by Rush. This thing is spectacular. I absolutely love this. I put this down as number 3 in my top 3 box sets of all time. Rush 2112, my favorite Rush album, 2112. And what they did here was a really great box set. You got in it a CD, a 2-disc CD, a DVD, a 200-gram 3 LP vinyl hologram edition. And what was on the 3 LPs was the original album on disc 1. On disc 2, you had some tribute recordings by other artists, such as Overture, done by Dave Grohl, Passage of Bangkok, done by Billy Talent, The Twilight Zone, done by Steven Wilson, Tears, done by Alice in Chains, some really good stuff. And on sides 4 and 5 were some live recordings live at Massey Hall in 1976. And I was actually at that concert. So this is a fantastic box set. And so what's in the box here is you've got the Rush 2112. These are the 3 LPs. Really nicely done. Beautiful gatefold jacket. 2 LPs in the second slot, 1 LP in the first slot. Of course, in the first slot, you have a booklet and lyrics, and you have the 2112 album. And the reason I'm pulling this out is because there's the actual 2112 remaster, but I don't know if you can see it, and I'll just move this around in the light. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a hand-etched laser, or I guess it's hand laser. I'm not sure how they're done. They're laser-etched. It's a laser-etched hologram that when you put it on your turntable and shine a light on it, you get a floating hologram of the Starman symbol there, as you can see it in the dead wax. I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but that is a really nice exclusive thing about this. Beautifully done. Only a few of these etchings, these hologram records done, and there's only one guy in the world that does these things, and that's wonderful. Discs 2 and 3 with the bonus material. The last side of disc 3 is an etched disc, which is kind of cool. So you get a beautiful etched disc on the last side of record 3. Record 1, sides 1 and 2 the album. Record 2, side 1 is tribute recordings. Side 2 and record 3, side 1 are the live material, and then the last side an etching. So you get that in the box. You get a beautiful Starman turntable mat, which occasionally I throw this on my turntable. Nice turntable mat. You get a nice lithograph. A few nice lithographs. Lithograph number 1. A copy of the concert ticket, and believe it or not, I actually have one of these concert tickets for real. I should have brought my ticket book out to show you guys, but I actually was at this performance, and I actually have a concert stub that looks almost identical to that for real. So there you go. You get a pamphlet, the original little pamphlet that came out when you went to Massey Hall. This was the original little pamphlet program thing you got. Download code. And then, of course, the CD version and DVD version. The DVD and CDs in here, and 3 great Rush pins. So there's another example of really a beautifully beautiful felt-lined box. So there's an example of another really, really wonderful box set. I think it was aptly priced. It wasn't cheap, for sure. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth every penny, I think. In quality and quantity, and the contents alone justified the price tag. Now, obviously, it's worth a lot more now. Rush 2112 anniversary box set. One of my 3 favorite box sets of all time. Next up, my next favorite box set of all time is this big baby here. This is U2. Oh, this thing weighs a ton. This is U2. The Joshua Tree, and I'm only going to hold it for a second because it weighs a freaking ton. U2, the Joshua Tree. This was one of the most expensive box sets I ever bought. It was pricey, but it has gone up massively in value, and it is fantastic. And I'm just going to slide this out here. It's a slipcase box set, and it was pricey, but I think it was worth the money. And what you got in here, as you can see, is a number of items. The first of them, of course, being the Joshua Tree Remaster, 2LP Remaster. Joshua Tree 2LP Remaster. And this recording I am putting down as probably the best sounding sonically recording in my entire record collection. This pressing blew my mind. It's as good, if not better, than any MoFi I own or Analog Productions pressing I own. This is one to show off your stereo system. You put on Bullet the Blue Sky from this album, man. So my favorite thing about this album is a spectacular pressing. But then also in this box set, you got U2, the Joshua Tree, live at Madison Square Gardens, and this is only available in this particular box, a 2LP live concert of the Joshua Tree tour at Madison Square Gardens. Fantastic recording, fantastic sounding. And then next in here was the U2 Joshua Tree remixes, outtakes, and B-sides. And this is an example of remixes, outtakes, and B-sides done properly. Not like that Abbey Road I showed you. This has a number of 12-inch single remixes of songs. It has some outtake demo versions that are really good, alternate takes. This is really good, and some unreleased songs that were recorded at the time of Joshua Tree but never used. So this is a properly done one, and it's 3 LPs. 3 LPs of remixes, outtakes, singles, B-sides. This is what I call a really, really spectacular collection of Joshua Tree material. Absolutely. In a little slip jacket. And then the last 2 things in this box. Right here, this is the Joshua Tree photography by Anton Corbin. And this was the photography. And these, I'm not going to pull it out because they're actually prints. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful prints of the photos that were taken a bunch of the photos that were taken for the Joshua Tree, when they photographed it for the cover of the album. So this is a collection of the photography works of the Joshua Tree album. Really nice. I'm not going to pull it out because it's a little complicated to get out of there. Beautiful reprints of some of the photography. And last but not least, you got this gorgeous hardcover bound book. Beautiful hardcover bound book. Really big book, as you can see. There's the download code for FLAC files and a gorgeous, gorgeous book of photography from the Joshua Tree recording sessions and tour and everything. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous book. So that's my second favorite box set of all time. It's just a gorgeous box set. Gorgeous sounding music, fabulous music. Wow. If you can find it and find it for a reasonable price, I highly recommend it for YouTube fans. The Joshua Tree, gold leaf embossed box. A real treasure. And last but not least, in my vinyl box sets, I'm going to show you here is my favorite box set. And this is a combination of vinyl and CDs. And I've shown this briefly before in another video last year, I think, where I was talking about CDs or something. I'm a big Nazareth fan, one of my top 20 bands of all time. This is Nazareth Loud and Proud box set. And as you can see, it's a big sucker. This is the biggest box set I think I have in my collection. And I lucked out on the price when I pre-ordered this. When I pre-ordered this, I paid way less than what the value of the contents are in. I probably paid half the price of the value of the contents. When it actually dropped, the price almost doubled on the day that it came out from what I pre-ordered it for. But I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and of course they lock in that price. And then when it dropped, the price was double. The retail price was double than what I paid for it. So I lucked out. And now the price on this box set is probably 3 or 4 times. This box set, I think, is close. It's one of the most valuable things in my collection. I think this box set, is worth around $500 or something now. But it's a fantastic box. It's a fantastic box set. And this is my idea of the perfect. To me, this is the perfect box set. It was limited to 5,000. Numbered, as you can see there. It was limited to 5,000. I got number 1,508 out of 5,000. This is the perfect example of the perfect box set. And the reason I say that is because in this box set, you got the entire Nazareth catalog. So as you can see here, there's 4 stacks of CDs here. So you got their entire catalog of 26 studio albums, all done in mini LP jacket form. Mini LP jacket form. I'm not going to pull them all out, but I'll just show you an example. Mini LP jacket form of all of the albums. Of course, everything is remastered. So you got all of the studio albums here, including their live albums, their entire catalog. And then on this side here, you got bonus material, and you got, I think it's 5 discs of unreleased songs, B-sides, demos, remixes, you name it. Everything you could think of there. And a beautiful Nazareth pewter pin, which just fits in there like so. This is the example of the perfect box set. So their entire catalog, plus B-sides, singles, remixes, unreleased songs, everything on CD. But you're thinking, well, Anthony, where's the vinyl? Well, we're getting to it. Then in this box, a beautiful book, hardcover book, talking about Nazareth and their whole career. Fantastic read. Beautiful hardcover book. And then some vinyl. And what I like about this is the vinyl that came in this box set, original to the box set. First off, you had Turn On Your Receiver by Nazareth. It's the BBC Bob Harris Sessions from 1972-73. It's a 2 LP release for the first time ever of all of their BBC performances. Really spectacular stuff. really spectacular live performances. Nazareth were a fantastic live band. And then also another 2 LP live. This is live at the Hammersmith Odeon, London in March 1980. A 2 LP live at Hammersmith Odeon, never before released as well. Live at the Hammersmith, another fantastic album. You got the alternate release of Nazareth's Expect No Mercy album. This album, this is the original version of the album that was presented to the studio executives when Nazareth went to drop Expect No Mercy. The studio executives did not like it and said, you need to do it over. And so they did it over, and the version that came out retail that we all know of Expect No Mercy was somewhat different. There are a few different songs. There's some songs that are the same here, and some songs that were dropped completely, but everything was re-recorded, so different versions of the songs. And but this is the original version, and it's not that bad. And the studio executives rejected it. I like it. I like it. There's some really cool stuff on here. So really nice to have the original version of Expect No Mercy. So that's nice to have in here. Then next up, you got one of their most popular albums, Rampant. Rampant, one of their most popular albums. And of course, they threw in a picture disc version of Rampant. A picture disc version of Rampant. And then last but not least, this envelope of goodies. And in this envelope of goodies, a whole whack of stuff. And in it you got sheet music. You got sheet music for Bad Bad Boy. You got sheet music for Broke Down Angel. You got a huge Nazareth tour poster. I'm not going to open it all because it's gigantic. But you got a huge European Tour 1980 poster that they would sell in the stands. The recreation of the original World Tour 1979 No Mean City World Tour. A recreation of the tour program from that tour, which is fantastic. The recreation of I think this was the Loud and Proud tour, an earlier tour, another tour, yeah, I think it's the Loud and Proud tour, another tour booklet from another tour, I believe the Loud and Proud tour. You got a sticker, Nazareth sticker from Rampant. And last but not least, you got 3 7-inch singles. Double A-side singles with original art, Japanese and North American. See, Japanese and North American covers. All probably their biggest hits, all on 7-inch singles. This Flight Tonight, backed with Shanghai and Shanghai. Then Razmanaz, backed with Bad Bad Boy. And My White Bicycle, backed with Love Hurts. Some of their biggest singles of all time. And that's everything in that box set. What a spectacular box set. My favorite box set. That's the example of a box set done completely right. Just a sampling of some of my favorite box sets. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up always make people feel good. So like that video if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And if you do subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my videos. I try to post a video like this every week. And comments down below. I always reply to every comment. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but I always reply to every one of my comments. Comments are the best way to improve your channel. And last but not least, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at AGK_lifetime of vinyl, where I post my spin of the day every day, among other things. So that's it. That's all. That's my look at box sets. Finally got this video done after having this on the back burner for close to a year. I hope I entertained you guys for the duration of this video and didn't bore you guys with some fantastic box sets. And I'll see you guys real soon in my next video. And as I always say, rock and roll!